Global Knives, a brief review slash overview of this Japanese brand. I've been using Globals for probably 15 years or so. In that time I've tried other brands. I've owned quite a few Zwillings, I've owned some Shuns, I've had some other traditional Japanese knives. I think I've had some American knives. I've actually lost count. I seem to have settled on Globals for home use. The review part of this video is very simple. I think they're very nice, very sharp out of the box. I think the value for money is exceptional. I would not say that they're the best knives in the world. I'm not a knife expert, I'm not even a professional chef. I'm simply an enthusiastic home cook. But all round, if you consider the price, the variety in the Global range, you know, for some people, the appearance, all around, they're a very good knife. If you have a look here, you can see that there are over 100 knives and other kitchen utensils in the range. There are several box sets to choose from, sharpening stones, cases, the full range of kit is available. I would like to do a bit of an overview because there are so many knives to choose from in this range. I would like to give my opinion and maybe some advice to maybe some young person who's keen on cooking. Maybe they've just moved out from home and they want to start a little set of knives. Which three knives from this vast range available would you choose? Well, the knives that I seem to use most frequently are very simply the 21cm GF33. This guy is part of the GF chef's knife range. There are the 30cm, 27, 21 and 16cm GF chef's knives. There are also several cook's knives in the Global range. I believe that the GF chef's knives are better, for me at least, with big hands. You get a much thicker, meatier handle on the chef's knives. I believe the blades are a little bit higher, generally speaking, and I just, having used both, I find the GF series to be superior to the standard G series cook's knives. Having said that, they're all lovely sharp knives, very reasonably priced, but if I was to start off, I would recommend not choosing any of the gift sets, the three-piece sets. I started off with the G2-111 set, which includes the GS11, G2 and the GS1. I found that in every set that I've seen, there was typically one of the knives which was not to my liking, or possibly was of a style that I probably wouldn't use. I would strongly recommend picking each individual knife for your own needs. I've bought some of these overseas. More recently I bought some at everten.com.au. It's an absolutely fantastic site, very reasonably priced. The shipping, the service is 10 out of 10 all round. You can get the largest knife in the series, the GF35, you can get that for about $200. It depends on the sales and whatever, but that's very reasonable for the largest knife. The 27cm GF34, that ranges, I've seen it for about 160, 170. The 21cm GF33, if I'm not mistaken, that hovers around 150. And they more or less go down in price depending on the size. But from what I've seen, the Global knives range from about $60 to $200 in Australia, which is pretty damn good. Now I do have other cleavers and mandolins and pizza cutters and food processors and whatever other tools that I use. But as I said, the main purpose of this video is to advise someone who's probably new to the brand, is just starting off, you know, collecting some stuff for cooking at home. I would say the GF33, the 21cm chef's knife, you can do everything with that. You can carve, you can chop, you can fillet, slice, you can do absolutely everything. And that was about 150, give or take $10. Absolutely fantastic. This one here, This is the GS1. That's just a nice small knife. You can do all sorts of fine detail work, cutting, chopping, whatever you like with that. I use that almost every day. And I like crusty breads, so I would recommend one of the serrated knives. There is a straight serrated knife in the range that you can use. I would say even just this little GS14, in all honesty, I have no issues cutting through large loaves of bread with this guy. You more or less just cut your way across the top and then just run it down the bottom, and I seem to be able to deal with large loaves of bread with no issue whatsoever. But if you did want a larger knife for bread, and I suppose for carving, the G23, you know, that's probably, that would be about 24 centimeters. Yeah, I mean, that again, a very versatile knife, and you know, for a few $100s you can get a very reasonable all-round set of about 3 knives. And I received quite a few of these as gifts. My wife bought some of them. I didn't intend to have this many, but the one thing I will say about a larger collection is that it's actually a good way to not have to sharpen your knives so often. And you probably would need to professionally sharpen your knives at least once a year and touch them up with a honing rod of some description once a week or something. But the more knives you have, the longer they stay sharp, for obvious reasons. You're not utilizing, you know, your 2 or 3 knives as much when you have more knives. So, you know, if you've got the space and you've got the funds and the desire, I suppose, by all means go out there and buy as many as you like. But for the average home cook, you know, 3 or 4 of these is more than enough. As I said, I'm not trying to sell anything. These are good knives for home use. There are obviously a lot of better knives out there in the world made by smaller operations. I know in Germany, Japan, in America, you know, there's a lot of knife makers who are really making works of art that you could spend thousands of dollars per knife if you really wanted to. But for everyday use, I think most people would be well satisfied with these knives. I've certainly never had any issues. They are welded. You know, some purists don't like the fact that the blade is welded to the handle. Personally, I've never had any issues with breakages or defects of any kind. Don't put them in the dishwasher. Don't leave them sitting in the dirty dishwater in the sink for any length of time. If you treat them well and you keep them sharp, always try to keep any knife you have sharp. Don't ever let a knife get so worn down that it really needs you know, professional attention to get it back to being sharp again. Always give it a touch up with your honing rod or whatever sharpening device you use. Try and always keep them as sharp as possible, and I don't think you'll have any problems. So thank you for watching. I hope you're still awake, and happy cutting.